good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, whenever you guys choose to listen to us. We always do appreciate it. This is Tap 92. It's a Clonmel Thursday. We haven't had one of them in a while, Deck.
No,
it feels like we haven't had. It feels like we haven't had a tap in a while. I hope you guys didn't miss us now. Had a week off after the Dublin Racing Festival, due to other commitments. But since then, Deck, how have things been with you? All good?
Yeah, as good as can be, I suppose. Yeah.
Awesome.
Didn't get racing the weekend, but didn't actually see much of it the weekend, to be honest. But they didn't really have the appetite for it. With Mikey O'Sullivan, in the state years, did find it quite difficult over the weekend to really be up for it. So obviously Mikey is at the forefront of our thoughts, and it's the downside of our game, isn't it? This can happen, and what we're thinking of Mikey, his family and his friends, all the jockeys, of course. Quite a tough time, and there's some amount of shit, to be honest, Andy, on online and Twitter in particular, and it's like this wasn't planned or that, but just as we see us talking about it and reading some of the stuff today, it's really like, grow the fuck up, lads. There's a man fighting for his life, and it's not about you. There's a man fighting for his life, and it's just some of the shit I read today is very distasteful, and kind of tore me off going on there, and even talking to people about racing at a time of the year when you're normally buzzing to talk about racing, but there's a gelding that's injured and might be fighting for his life as well, but there's a human, there's a man, there's a fella we see riding every week and fighting for his life, and that's what we should be thinking about him. We should be all hoping that Mikey pulls through, and keep fighting, Mikey, and you're at the front of our thoughts anyway.
Yeah, no, and he will. I've every hope that he will now. Obviously a very scary fall for Mikey, and fingers crossed that he will be okay. I was worried. You're just kind of refreshing, hoping for an update. Obviously he's getting the best care possible, and long may that care continue, and hopefully Mikey can pull through. Absolutely, totally agree with you. In regards to online, that's.
Some of the stuff today
it can be a cesspit at times, can't it? It's just
it's just I don't know. I can't actually explain some of the stuff I read today. It was fucking bizarre,
Yeah.
I just felt a bit sick reading it. I don't know what people are trying to do or make of it. But there's a man fighting for his life, and we should all be thinking of him at the moment and hoping he pulls through. I don't know what people are on about online, it's a bit sickening, to be honest.
Yeah, that's it. Right, well, hopefully Mikey can pull through, and I suppose we'll move on then, Deck, to the first race. Then there's no easy way to there's no segue from that, unfortunately, but no, we'll move to the 12:35, which is the Surehaul race day, Mares Maiden Hurdle, and it wouldn't be a Thursday card without a Mares race, really. There seems to be one every Thursday in this country. And it comes in the shape of a maiden hurdle this time, over 2 miles 3 furlongs. Look, at this stage of the season, we have talked about maiden hurdles maybe kind of preserving their better than usual status, I suppose, is the easiest way to put it. Because of the dry winter we had, but you look at this Mares Maiden Hurdle, and it's very little, if anything, to write home about. Arctic Piper in her first time tongue tie, she's rated 105. I wouldn't even say she's probably sets the standard in all known form, but she does have a rating, and that it's something to aim at, I suppose. 24 carat for Declan Queally. As we said, his yard's been flying the last couple of weeks. Ran well over this course, a little bit shorter behind Grania Cree in mid-January. Possibly is the one that's going to, maybe I'd say, his one's probably going to set the market, unless something can come out of the woodworks. Obviously Karamoja has to put a bad run behind. I know Paul Town and Willie Mullins combining there, but obviously pulled up last time out, so not really not too ideal, because she did stop very quickly there at Limerick. Deck, Who do you like here in the opener?
Yeah, look, you mentioned 24 Carrington. Obviously, he's one that's on the short list, but obviously trained by Declan Queally, the man of form, as you mentioned. He was second here the last day, a bumper winner at Limerick. The reason he's not on, well, he made the list, but the reason he's not in selection is he actually bled at Christmas.
JD Mac, okay.
Yeah. So look, only a 5-year-old, just look, you know yourself, Andy, that you just can't trust him.
No.
After they blade. The leading Endeavour was beating 53 lengths behind Caroline Bandura at Fairyhouse. Is a point-to-point winner, and it was actually 3-horse race, the point-to-point. The other two followed up in point-to-points. What's up, Nelly? Tour to Magic McColgan at Punchestown, horse we'd mentioned recently enough. 18 lengths off You Have Me in Stitches, who was a bit of an eye catcher at Christmas, and then followed up. But I will go with Karamoja, and another 5-year-old. He was pulled up at Christmas, but he was third before that to Carafon. Carafon ran in the Grade 1 last week, or
right, yeah.
The week before. The Maiden's probably a maiden worth following. It was 5 lengths off You Have Me in Stitches at Christmas, when You Have Me in Stitches was second. Yeah, I think, look, if you can put a line through, where was he 5 lengths off?
She was, You Have Me in Stitches, is it?
Yeah.
That's not Karamoja, is it?
Yeah, it's Karamoja. Yeah.
Okay. Have to double check that. Sorry, don't actually have it in front of me.
Yeah, I know. I've lost it myself.
Carafon was the horse that you're talking about. Was 7. Yeah, she was 5 odd lengths behind You Have Me in Stitches. That wasn't a qualified riders race. Clonmel start in December. Yeah.
Look, on that line of farms, I'd put a line through the run at Christmas. You can do that at Limerick, even though we've been, really booming up Limerick farm over
very
Christmas.
Very much so.
Yeah, you can put a line through when a horse pulled up there, and yeah, look, it's and to be honest, it'll be the second half of this card now where I get going. I put Karamoja up as a selection, but I'd be happy to just watch the first few races.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree with you there. This race is a bit of a trappy one. I would have probably gone for 24 Carat myself, but yeah, if she bled 2 starts ago. Now, she was obviously all right the last day, but you would still want to see maybe one more run before you can really trust her again. Reina Del Mar, another maybe interesting enough one. She did run the listed hurdle the last day behind Hey Sunshine, Joseph O'Brien Trends. Reina Del Mar had a bit of place form at Cork behind Blue Mosque, who's obviously one that you like, Deck. She hasn't quite gone on though. She'd have to have a squeak, I suppose, if you wanted to have a play in the race. Maybe have a look at Reina Del Mar. Like she has a.
Was she second at Cork? Was she to Blue Mosque?
Yeah, to Blue Mosque. Yeah.
I suppose Leah's Contessa was in there, and she has won a lowly rated maiden since. But I don't think the races. Blue Mosque now has been quite disappointing since she's really down.
Yeah, I'd probably take a chance on her though. Like, this race isn't going to take a lot of winning. Something has to win. So maybe Reina Del Mar, small play, and then Deck, you're probably going to sit in the fence area. But it sounds
look, Karamoja would be my selection. I think Karamoja is the most likely winner. Just put a line through that run at Christmas, and I'm more than prepared to do that. But as I said, it's later on in the card now that I'll start to get a bit giddy.
I'm looking forward to that. Well, we can probably motor through until we get to that part of the card. The next is the 110, the Derrygrath Maiden hurdle at over 2 miles. Again, not a strong looking heat by any stretch of the imagination. Saint Lafort, a son of Ultra there for Philip Fenton, and Noel Moore claiming the 7. It'd be interesting enough to see how he runs. He did well to finish second on his last start. Now that was at Roscommon at the end of September, so has been quite a while off the track. But Ultra, his progeny, I think Andre Fab trained him for Godolphin. They do tend to like a bit of softer ground. I think he's Sawyer's. I think Spasiba, is by Ultra as well, if memory serves. Obviously, Adragul for Gavin Cromwell, Keith Donoghue, he has a rating of 123. So again, like the previous race, there is a mark to aim at. And then Sheehan for who's by Dr. Dino. So it's good to see him sticking at 2 miles, beaten a long way by a horse I really like for the Supreme Novices Hurdle in Kiss Will. So I'll be very interested to see how he runs. I'd expect that form to be left well behind because he did cost 170 grand as a 3-year-old store, so he must have really took the eye out of the sales. I'd say Connections be hoping for a slightly better run than what they saw on his racecourse debut. Connor Stonewalsh taking £5 off for him there. Interesting enough maiden hurdle, albeit maybe not the best in quality, deck, but who do you like here?
Yeah, look, Adragul obviously it was the best place to start. He has a rating of 123, as you said. Been second in 2 maidens and 2 bumpers, beaten 12 lengths and handicap debut, but back in the maiden company the last day. But look, I will try take him on. Saint Lefort, second to 1 leg in Roscommon. 1 leg was, really let the form down at Nace, I think, Nace or Navan. Did have decent bumper form, is on your 5-year-old. I'll probably go with Philip Rothwell's Hardy's Dream. Has some nice form. Went second to Cashildale Lad in November, the 5-year-old. Again,
You're waiting. You're getting keen now. You're keen. They put the hood on you.
I hope it'll be worthwhile. But yeah, I'll be busy getting a bit of work done during the early part of this card.
Very good, very good. Another one I would just give a quick shout out to, obviously, Paul Town and Willie Mullins. You're a dreamer. Only ran once in his life, was dead last in a bumper, beaten 14 lengths by Romeo Coolio, but was only sent off 11-10 to beat Romeo Coolio that day. So maybe that's just the Willie and Patrick Mullins connection in kind of any bumper that's really run on this side of the Irish Sea. But, getting sent off 11-10 to beat Romeo Coolio, they must have thought something of him. He's probably going to line up favourite given his reputation, and that's why you couldn't really, tip him here. But I'll probably take a chance on Saint Lefort for Philip Fenton, Niall Moore, with keeping it obviously a very, very close eye on Sheehan for Gavin Cromwell as well.
I mean, how are Philip Fenton's horses running? Because anytime I've really fancied one now,
they've let you down
this season. Yeah. Like we had the card to Christmas.
Yeah, his last runner was actually a winner at Thurles. Was unfortunately it was in that race with Lake Chad. So that was his last runner. It was a winner. Balco Donge ran well at Punchestown last week or at the start of the month as well.
I think the Heart of Grey. What's the little grey I like? He's been a little bit disappointing.
I know the one. Yeah, the 3 miler.
Yeah. 4 miler.
5 miler. It's not Balco Donge. I'll get the name for you now. I will find it. Give me 2 seconds. And that horse deck was Jericho the Bomb, that big slow grey that I love there. Philip Fenton's horses are going fine. He's having a grand season. It just seems to be the ones that we're backing are just watching, unfortunately. But yeah, speaking, we did put Cheltenham Chat in the title. If Carol de Terrell was to line up in something like the Pretemps, given what Franciscan Rock has done.
He is qualified, isn't he?
He's qualified second at Punchestown, and obviously Franciscan Rock is, if anything, has boosted the form since with a win and an excellent run in the Galway Hurdle. So right, so that's the 110, the Derrygrath Maiden Hurdle. Right, Deck, we'll move on to the 145, which is, for all intents and purposes, a match. The Surehaul Mercedes-Benz Novice Hurdle. It's a Grade 3 event. Just the 3 runners.
This is probably the most disappointing renewal I can ever remember of this race. This race has produced so many Cheltenham winners, whether they won this race or not. And it could produce one here, but it's a little disappointing, isn't it?
Well, obviously, it's most famous for Allaho beating Manila Indo, wasn't it? I think that was here, wasn't it? Or was that Thurles? I think it was here.
No, it was this, yeah.
It was this. And am I right in saying, did Dallas de Picton run in this before he won the Martin Pipe? I'd have to double check that. But anyway.
I searched for Glory running at Monty Star. I think Kildine ran in this race. Like, they mightn't have all won over hurdles But a lot of them went on to win at the festival over fences as well. It's a race for finding a nice horse in, and it's a tough track, Clonmel. Like, you know, it does take a good one to get round over 3 miles.
No, it absolutely does. Dallas to Picton didn't even win the didn't even win the Martin Pipe. He was beaten by early doors. That wasn't him. It was a column of fire. No, I think he fell at the last. I can't remember. Anyway, I think a Martin Pipe horse has gone well in this race in the past. But anyway, we'll move on. Yeah, just a trio of runners deck. It is, as you said, it's disappointing. And what kind of annoys me about this race as well is there's a horse in here that I think would run really well in the Alba Bartlett, and a horse that you tipped up the last time in Ballybow. Now, he does have a rating of 128. Thoroughly unexposed 128 with that said. Now, I thought he was really only getting going that day. He cleared out and beat Calix Delabrie. You know, kind of as easy as he liked in the end. I think it was 9 or 10 lengths at the line. Yeah. Second behind a good mare in Air of Entitlement on Stevens' Estate down Royal as well. Beat Coral River in a bumper, who won a maiden hurdle himself. So, you know, the form is, relatively speaking, isn't that bad. And if he rocked up in a handicap off 128, you would be kind of interested.
He'd need another run after this, wouldn't he?
If for Cheltenham purposes, he would. Yeah. But for the Irish Spring Festivals, he wouldn't have any issues.
He'd look like a good thing in the Martin Pipe, wouldn't he?
He would, yeah. I absolutely would.
If he was qualified. But like, I think the 5. I don't know what the 5 runs does. Like, does it encourage?
They just want people to get their horses out, I suppose, does it? Like, they don't want really, really unexposed horses coming to the fore. Which in a way I can kind of get, but at the same time, like I wouldn't be surprised if the Pertemps or the Martin Pipe, like, there's a chance they won't fill. Like I know it's a Cheltenham Festival, but it's a not to 145 handicap at the end of the day. The Martin Pipe.
Yeah.
So like you're going to get a big spread. You're going to get big spreads in the handicaps, I'd say. Maybe a novice handicap hurdle is the way to go at the festival. I don't know.
Even the real, like, outside the festival, it's ruined the race last week at Newbury because
it's destroyed the bet. Yeah, the William Hill Trophy. You know, it's destroyed that.
You should get, you know, whoever wins that, like, really, if you have a really good novice, he wins that and he goes favourite for the Supreme.
Yeah,
there's a good horse in it. Like, you want to see good horses in handicaps as well, don't you? Look, and part of it is getting them handicapped and.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, you had My Tent or Yours and Kalashnikov win the Bedford Hurdle or the William Hill Trophy, whatever it's called these days. And they both, I know Kalashnikov went off nearly favourite. I think My Tent or Yours might have gone off favourite for the Supreme with Jesky and Champagne Fever. They would have been right up there anyway. I think he was
Champagne Fever was a bit of a prize that day, I think. Maybe there was a late bump on him.
He was coming back in trip, wasn't he? Like, he was favourite for the Alba Bartlett, I think, before they. Well,
he'd been beaten by Jesky in the Royal Bond.
Yeah.
And like, Jesky was in the race in the Supreme as well. So I think what price did he win now? I think he was a bit of a good.
It's 5 or 6 to 1, I think.
Double figures in the morning.
Oh, he's backed off the boards, yeah. Yeah, they went pillar to post, and they kind of started that kind of Supreme and Champion hurdle from the front era of Willie Mullins that had, you know, Duvan, Faheen, Annie Power, that Champion hurdle Supreme kind of, from the front, deadly. Anyway, we've kind of gone off topic there, but like, even Joyous there, you were talking about, like, she obviously was very impressive in the William Hill Trophy. Went and won as she liked. She had only 3 hurdle starts, but because she wasn't a novice, she was allowed to run at Newbury. But that was her 4th start. She now cannot run at the Cheltenham Festival because, unlike Newbury, you just need to have 5 runs. It doesn't matter if you're a novice or not. Like, it's like they're just literally making it up as they go along. Like it's almost like having their cake and eating it.
And this is all because of statement.
I don't know. Maybe it's just so Dan Skelton can get everything down 10 pounds and just win all the handicaps. I don't know. To challenge Willie Mullins by winning the county, the Coral, the Martin Pipe, the Grand Annual, the Play. I don't know. Anyway, back to Ballybodeck. Rated 128. Ballygunner Castle rating 129. I think both horses would win handicaps off their marks personally. And then we've Calnew, who would need Ballybow or Ballygunner Castle to probably bring down the other in order to win. To fall and bring down the other, I should say, because he's only rated 80 over hurdles. But a good bit of placing by Paul Kiley. Get a bit of prize money here. Right, who would you have between them? Like the annoying part is I'd like Ballybow and the Bartlett, and I wouldn't mind Ballygunner Castle up in grade either. But this is going to turn into a sprint, and they're going to be cut for the Bartlett, whoever wins this, even though they haven't really shown Albert Bartlett credentials, because they're going to win a 3 or 4 furlong sprint. Like I can't see how this isn't going to turn into a sprint personally. But who do you like?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Like you've been more of a fan of Ballygunner Castle than me, and I've probably slagged off that.
We butted heads over the form of that maiden hurdle, yeah.
Yeah, we have. I've taken the piss out of it now a bit. But I do like Ballybow, and he was a good winner of that maiden last week, beating Calix Della Berriere, 9 lengths, as you said. He was a bumper winner, beating Coral River, who's won a maiden at Gowran since. And he's beaten A Dream to Share 22 lengths. Ballygunner's beaten A Dream to Share 2 lengths, but he was stopped coming to the last that day, and then picked up again and went and won impressively. But yeah, look, come here. I'm not going to be definitely. This is the one race I definitely won't be getting involved in. Like, but I do like Ballybow, and I would back him wherever he goes at the festival, which is probably going to be. He can't really go anywhere else other than the Bartlett, can he? Like, unless
Ballygunner Castle beats him by about a furlong and they just defer him to Ferryhouse for a novice handicap hurdle of probably top weight, because there is that 2.5 mile novice handicap hurdle that would suit him down to the ground. And we were only talking over text message about the handicap, or more on him later, that maybe going for it on your handicap debut is the way to go, and maybe the ones that are a little higher up the weights in the lower graded races might be actually better traded, but we will get to that later.
Look,
maybe that's the way to go.
I would punt the ears off Ballybow in a pipe.
In a Martin pipe, yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to backing him in an Albert Bartlett either. Like
No, I'd back him in an Albert Bartlett, but I would absolutely, and around that mark of 128. Jesus, that'd be.
Yeah, it's a pity they just couldn't. They can't get him out. It's 2 days. They've 10 days after. This is 30. They've 10 days to get another run into. They're not going to do it. Unfortunately,
I borrowed your house deposit now. If you can run in a pipe.
Yeah, and that would be me out in the street before I even get in. Right. So Anyway, Ballygunner Castle with a hood and tongue tie. I don't like the first time. I don't know if it's the first time tongue tie. It's the first time hood and tongue tie combo on Ballygunner Castle, which. Yeah, I would favour Ballybow here, probably because Ballygunner Castle is already raced off a slow pace, which was the last time out, and James's Gate went by him as if he was standing still. He was actually a bit disappointed, I thought, in Ace. But that was over 2 miles, and James's Gate is a nice horse. This race is a bit disappointing. I was really looking forward to covering this race, and I'll just have to see how it plays out. Going to my head, I'm probably going to say Ballybow, even though I've loved Ballygunner Castle, but the step up to 3 miles just makes me wondering, are they kind of scratching their head with him? I don't know, but it would be tentatively Ballybow for me. What about yourself, Dick?
Yeah, it's going to be Ballybow, but like if he's beaten, as you said, it wouldn't be turning me off going forward.
Not in the slightest. Yeah,
you could just, even if you don't watch this race, you can just make up an excuse.
But it's gonna be a 3 furlong sprint, I think. It's not like it's nearly not worth covering, to be honest with you. It'd be interesting to see how they get on anyway, though. Right, Deck. So the Minorstown handicap hurdle, it's a not 100 over 2 miles, and I feel like this is where the card kind of gets going now for you. We're nearly there anyway. I know there's one you really like in this, so I'll let you take it away in a minute. Field of 14. Look, do you want to go ahead anyway? You're probably this way. I think I can see this thing getting absolutely smashed up, to be honest with you. But go on.
Well, look, there is a danger to him as well, and it would be give me a buzz. But I do think give me a buzz might be the next day when he steps up and trip. He was fourth in his handicap debut. He was handy, and he did stay on, but it's the fact that he was handy and he did stay on. Now telling you that it'll be the next day when he goes up and trip. But the one I really like is Royal Reprobate, and I really fancy him here. He was 8 in handicap debut, was here at Clonmel. He was out the back, he kept on. The race was won by Falcon Park, who was second at Gowran, then ran a cracker next time out. Give Me a Buzz is actually fourth in the race. Mudan, who was third, has won next time out. And look, I think this is one we've been waiting on, and I think it's just ticking all the boxes. And
we've been waiting on, or you've been waiting on?
And we've been waiting on.
It's always a way. It's always a way.
The tap community have been waiting on this.
The tap community, okay.
I just hope the tap community give connections a chance to get on, and we'll just back Royal Reprobate here, and we'll back Give Me a Buzz the next day up and trip.
All right.
Roll all the money on.
Right, tap community. Do you hear that? It's the red hood on in the parade ring and held up out the back going down to post. You do not back this one at 4:30 on Wednesday afternoon, please. You be patient and you wait like a good listener. And you back it when there's a little bit of liquidity in the market. Exactly. As much liquidity as you're going to get on a Thursday afternoon at Clonmel, I suppose. But anyway, so Royal Reprobate for you, Deck. When you're in that sort of form and you're that bullish, I'm not going to take you on. I'm going to follow you in. So Royal Reprobate is good for me if it's good for you there, Deck, in the 220. Right, we're continuing now the qualified rider series over 2 miles 3 furlongs here. It's the Kilmolash qualified rider handicap hurdle, and we're not getting one division. We are spoiled with 2 divisions of this wonderful initiative.
What more do you want on a Thursday afternoon? All these handicap hurdles, two divisions of the qualified riders. Jesus.
Yeah, it's like
you can have your DRFs and Cheltenham festivals.
It's death, taxes, and then a mare's race on a Thursday and a qualified riders race at Clonmel. It's just it's set in stone. Right, so we've got Voice of Reason heading the weights at 12 stone for Lord Above. You don't see much of that. I suppose they're all carrying mad weights because they're qualified riders. Like we've got we've four of the nearly a quarter of the field there. Nearly a third of the field there. It is a quarter of the field pretty much, isn't it? Sorry, carrying over 12 stone here, and people claiming left, right, and centre here. Is it the case, Deck, of going for the best jockey? That's sometimes the way you go in these qualified riders races. I suppose the one that takes the biggest eye would be Anya O'Connor on Simply Shabra, brought down last time out. Anthony McCann trains, obviously. Look, I think he was probably going backwards when brought down by Ken Dancer at Limerick, but was running a decent race at the time. Steps back up to 2 mile 3. Won a handicap off 86 at Nace. Runs here off 90. Might have place claims in this company, but this looks like a tough race, Deck. But I have a feeling you're going to want to talk about one here. Getting back to the handicapper, it's probably A class. Like we saw a Ruth Jefferson out of hot people replying to you on Twitter last night. So I'll let you go ahead. Go on.
Yeah, well, there's been jockeys and trainers like in the post, and Ruth Jefferson engaged in a bit of conversation. Asked is the new handicapper from over her way, and he's certainly acting like he is. I just can't understand. This horse was beaten 2 lengths at Gowran. He did look like the winner coming to the last now, and suddenly he just, I don't know. Look,
that was probably a good race for the grade. Like we talked about that Gowran race a lot of time. Like that, how that race worked out last year. Is unbelievable.
That was the one with Champagne Mahler, was it?
Champagne Mahler and Kilbarry Saint and Z-Band. Like it was a strong race last year. And maybe I'm making excuses for the handicap here now, but go on.
No. Well, look, A class should be turning up here and getting his chance of winning this. He was very unlucky the last day, and he's got £5 for being beaten 2 lengths. Where is that £5 coming from? And what sort of a message is that sending out to people? It's like, don't get involved, don't buy a horse. Because, like, I know Sandy Shaw gave Connections a chance. unless you totally took the piss. Like Declan Queally took the piss during the summer and one of his horses got walloped. That's a little bit different. But he was very, very fair to connections, particularly smaller connections, and he gave them a chance. And you know what that does? That brings you back in. Like, look at what Cian Dana has done. You know, he got chances. He wasn't, you know, he was never crucified by him, and he took his chances. And we've all lived the dream, and we have the bug. And you only have to look at how popular the horse is, you know, and how good it is for racing. But this is, I don't understand. I don't understand what he's at, or, you know, what he's trying to achieve here, because not only has the horse gone up £5, if it was before Christmas, the horse would be out of his grade. What hope would he have of winning? Why would you buy a horse? Why would you want to get involved? Like, you know, so I hope the horse wins, but I think it's going to be very difficult. You know, if you're doing it to a horse rated 130, you know, a classier animal, he might be able to deal with it. But you know, Andy, as well as me, and the people who listen to us on here know that a lot of these horses rated below 100 have one chance to win. They go up the handicap and they may never win again.
Yeah, and my heart would, sorry to cut over you there, my heart would probably go out a little more to the runner-up that day, Falcon Park, who was a 9-year-old and got £6 for finishing second, and now is on a career high mark of 103 at the age of 9 and now out of that grade. So,
at least he
like,
got his win.
He did get his win, but like, come on, like, he's not, like, even as I'm as respectful as possible, his owners probably know that he's not winning off 103.
No. So what's going to happen? Are we going to end up with horses rated, loads of horses rated 110?
Horses rated like 100? Rated like Arkle.
Yeah, you know, like, where does it stop? What's going to happen? Right, what's he going to do to Galloping des Champs? Like, what did he do to him after, you know, does he treat them all the same?
He plateaued Galopin, but like, looking today, like, Monty Star's now rated 160, and yeah, he got £7, didn't he, or £6? Yeah. So, like, yeah, it is unfortunate.
Yeah, look, but this isn't this the guy who's had to drop flat horses mid-season, the whole lot of them, because they were rated so high. You know, it's not sending out the right message to owners and to syndicates, and, you know, I'd imagine trainers are going to be very, very pissed off. I have noticed horses getting dropped as well. So what's going to happen? Are they just going to get further and further apart? If you nearly win, you've absolutely no chance whatsoever, because if you come 7 or 8, you're getting dropped £2 and you have a great chance of winning. Like, he's just going to pull them all further. I thought Sandy Shaw done a great job. We're big fans of Sandy Shaw around here, and he gave us great opportunities. Great opportunities to punt winners. But it's been like learning a new game now, and we have been taking the piss out of UK racing, you know, so much, and, you know, about what the handicapper does over here and over there. Like, if it's going to happen here, I don't know. It's nearly like a different game, because we don't want inflated ratings. Just be fair, and be fair.
You're playing with a smaller pool of horses as well.
Yeah,
which exactly. needs to be obviously looked at. So,
but there's opportunities in the UK as well. So,
of course there is. Yeah.
You can find, in Ireland, you might have to wait 3 months to find the right race again for your horse. And you've got £5 for finishing third, beating 2 lengths, not being good enough. Like, that's the way I look at it. If the horse didn't win, he wasn't good enough to win. So how can you raise him? If he wasn't good enough to win off X, how is he going to be good enough to win off X plus 5? You know, and it might be, you know, in Ireland, you're always bumping into, you know, a well-handicapped horse who's going to have his one go at it. So I think it's an absolute joke now, walloping horses that weren't good enough. And there's
a time and a place for it. Like, if you're a 50 to 1 shot and you're, I don't know, if you're beating 4 or 5 lengths in a grade 2 and you're rated 117 or something, but that's completely different. Yeah,
but in a handicap, if you're not good enough at the lower level, like, if it's different when it's at a high level and it's classier animals, and they might be running to a higher mark even though they've been beaten. That's completely different. But below 100, like, it's so unfair. It's before Christmas, he'd have been out of the North to 95 grade and into the
Yeah,
North to 102 grade. You know, he's
it
only
is. No, it is
7
harsh.
grade
Yeah.
because it's been changed to not to 100 now. So, like, imagine going up, never mind going up the handicap, going up a grade and running against classier horses. And
And not
how
winning.
did I get here? I haven't even picked up any prize money. Like, I don't know what he picked up for running the last day. Grand or something?
I'll tell you now. But just that you do talk about the classier animals, but it happened at the Dublin Racing Festival as well. Like, he picked up 900 quid for finishing third. Like, it's just,
900 quid. You're up £5.
Up £5. Yeah.
He's 7. He's not 5. He's 7.
Yeah, but even at the Dublin Racing Festival, I was talking to you about this as well. Like, Old Man Dingle, like, he did look the winner turning from home, but like, he wasn't fast enough. He wasn't good enough at the back of the last. I thought Ricky Doyle was pretty enterprising on him. Obviously knew the horse stayed 2.5 miles, went when he did the right thing, but the horse wasn't good enough, and he got £5. So it's, like, that horse I think is up to like 130, 139 now, which puts him flirting with graded company at novice level. So
having not
at least he got his. I suppose at least he got his turn though. But he got stoned for getting his turn. But at least he got his turn.
Yeah, he did win, but he didn't win again to go up to graded level.
No,
like you win 2 handicaps. Okay, maybe he's a graded horse.
Mm,
but he's won 1, and then he just wasn't good enough over 2 miles.
Yeah, well, I suppose they can go back to the 2.5 miles. I suppose win him, but I just thought £5 is quite high for finishing 4th.
So he's got 17 for winning 1 race.
Yeah, it's an awful lot. And not running in graded company, as we said there. So anyway, Jack,
I really, really hope this horse wins. I really, really hope he wins.
Yeah, me too.
Like, coming back to punting on, I have to take him on. Like, and I really, really hope he wins for the guys, because they deserve it. They were so unlucky at Gowran, and they should have been given their opportunity to win. He wasn't good enough at Gowran, and he should be. They should be punting the ears off him here in this race. I know it's for amateur riders, but they should go and right. Look, he has a little bit more handicap experience. He's an absolute shoe-in today, and we're going to have our day, and it's going to be brilliant. We're going to have a punt on him and have a great party afterwards, but it's going to be difficult. The one I'll probably side with is Sheriff Hill. He possibly didn't stay the 2 mile 5 on his handicap debut. He was dropped £2. I'm all for dropping horses as well, but I kind of don't understand. Maybe he didn't stay, leave him on his mark, and give him another go or back down and trip, and then if he looks like he's really not good enough, then we'll drop him. But there's horses going to be getting dropped and horses going up, and they're just going to get further and further apart. And if you go up without winning, you're going to have no hope, I think. But I do think Sheriff Hill could improve coming back to 2 mile 3 here, and not improve. He might just stay and be good enough on the day.
Yeah, I struggled with this race, to be honest, Ek. I think I take Simply Shabra each way. I thought he was running well enough at Down Royal. I don't think this is a particularly strong race. He has the guidance of Anya O'Connor. Blinkers on. I'd take a chance on him now. He hasn't ran in quite a while, but I'd still take a chance on him to run well. Hopefully he's capable after a break. Shouldn't have any issues with the ground. Might be a double figure price. Don't think he will be. Probably be 8 or 9 to 1 or something. But I think it's a decent enough price hit the frame.
Like, we're going to have horses getting dropped for their run for experience on handicap debut, you call it. Do you know what I mean?
You probably would. Yeah, your sire getting dropped for your sire.
There's no two ways about it. When you go from maidens to handicaps in Ireland, like, and I know people are probably going to be laughing at me saying this, and, I'm trying not to say certain things, but the difference in pace, they need that run, especially these horses. If you're not like graded or potentially graded class in a handicap, you need this first run, because the hurdles are coming at you faster than you've ever seen before. You've only lobbed around in maidens, you've walked for most of it, picked up towards the end. You're going into handicap company, and all of a sudden they're coming at you so quick, and the horse, like, what is going on here? Taking off his feet, needs to learn to jump a bit, and that's why here it's we back them. You know what we talked about the second time in handicap, but they're going to be getting dropped for that spin. It's nearly like the handicapper doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the sport that he's, you know, he doesn't understand what's going on in front of him, I don't think. Whereas, you know, the previous handicapper seemed to know it inside out and was very, very fair. And it was, you know, I thought he done a great job.
Yeah. Well, look, there's always time to hone the craft, I suppose. Maybe they'll see the light in the summer, drop the horse a few pounds. We don't know. You could never rule it out. I wouldn't be actually genuinely be surprised.
But there'll be so many of them of similar ability separated without winning. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're going to end up with some horses. Jesus, they never thought they could get that well handicapped. You know what I mean? And then there's some horses going, sure, I've won 600 quid.
Yeah, and getting nosebleeds from how high it ups up in the ratings. Right, the Division 2 of the Kilmolash Qualified Riders Handicap Hurdle is next up deck, the half 3 on the card. And this race is very interesting. Anyone that's listened to the podcast in the last 3 or 4 months is going to tell, it knows exactly where I'm going. But before I go there, is there anything that you like in the half 3?
Yeah, there's 3 that made the list, and the person of interest down £3 from his opening mark after 2 runs, now on 99, is down in trip and in first time pieces. Mount Shenshin, it was 8th in handicap debut, back into Maidens then. It was behind, she was back into Maidens behind Maureen. Now, she was behind, there was Familiar Dreams. She's probably a nice enough horse and did try to take Maureen on a bit. And D Lady was definitely an eye catcher, finished the second in that. So it was probably a decent enough run from Mount Shenshin. But look, I give Mellum another go. Spoken about him before, and he was pulled up the last day. Now it's the second handicap. I just think it was worth forgiving. It was at Limerick. They've changed the pieces for blinkers, and look, I'm just prepared to put a line through that. I think it was tough enough that day at Limerick, and I think he could give it a good go here. Off 87.
Off 87 for Mark Fahey. Very good. I suppose the one I would have started with, it's not the one I'm obviously going to tip, but Boss Up the Bus does stay in this grade in here off 95. Won very easily last time out. Kind of made a hash of it. I think it was the third last or second last, but still kind of was well on top of the line. You would imagine anything within the 0 to 100 bracket would be feasible for him, and I'd be surprised if he wasn't favourite. But anyone that's been listening to us knows that I'm going to probably tip up high. A Colin Murphy horse, so God damn it, like Colin, you're breaking my heart, because I did not back Lovely Hurling on the weekend because the likes of Gurv Mahalgut disgracing himself, and the gamble on Savante at the Dublin Racing Festival. And look, I think she ran like she needed 3 miles, but like, for the love of God, like she was still beating a long way out, I thought. Look, I would go as far as saying I would give up the game if this horse cannot win off 97. Like, it's riddled with ability. Really, really riddled with ability. But the horse is just so keen, and that's why it wears the hood. And it's weakened very quickly the last twice as a result of being so keen. But the way he jumps and travels through his races, if he could just get learn how to race, I suppose, and that's what Mr. Kennedy needs to do on this horse. Obviously owns and rides the horse, but at least they've gone and found a qualified riders race for him, so that's a good start, I suppose. But the way this horse jumps and travels, and how I catch him, especially behind Butch Cassidy that day, and I'm well aware that Maiden has not really worked out, but we're not dealing with horses that are going up in grade. We're dealing with a horse that's rated 97, so I don't care too much for the form. He was a big eye catcher that day. He travelled into that Ferry House race behind Leah's Contessa, weakened very quickly in the home straight, but again, just over raced. Like, if you stop that race of them coming for home, I wouldn't be surprised if he was trading at a pretty competitive price in the run, because it looked like that he was coming there with a chance. The horse does need to learn how to race. He's going to be a decent price, I'd imagine. I wouldn't be surprised they saw a few quid from him, but he is going to pop up eventually. Like if for whatever reason, if I saw someone like Keith Donoghue on this horse one day, like talking about the house deposit earlier on, Deck, you could funnel it on in spades. I am going to tip him up. I'm confident that he's a much better horse than 97. If he'll allow himself to show it is the big question. But if he does, he'll go and win this, and he'll win it easily. So it'll be high for me, and I'm probably going to get probably going to have my heart broken with this lad over the next coming. It'd be tap 150, and I'll be still tipping this lad up. Trying to get the win, but high for me. Deck, reminder your selection there. Melon, the Aldi version of Melon. Right. The 405, the SIS supporting Irish Racing Novices Handicap Chase over 2 miles and pretty much half a furlong, a little further than half a furlong maybe. Not a bad race here, Deck. There's a lot you can make a case for here. 14 runners and some reserves. Poor old Black Bamboo still receiving therapy over the handicap mark he received at the Cheltenham Festival last year when he had to run in the Coral Cup off like 8 or 9 pounds higher than his Irish mark. And a reserve here, God love him. So
look at actually carrying this.
Yeah, I 12 stone 5. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this poor horse. Yeah, there's not enough therapy in the world that can get to that horse. Anyway, so I think this is, for me, this is the race of the day. I'm really looking forward to seeing this.
Second half of the doubles in here.
Second half of the double, and obviously the top famous jouster in here as well for Keith Donoghue and Gavin Clonmel. That is not where I'm going though. I'm actually going to desert jouster. Can't believe it. And I think you are too, Deck. So I'll let you pop up your selection here for the 405.
I am. Yeah. Look, he was very disappointed the last day. But he was very thoroughly finished. And he's been given a break. That was Christmas. He's been given a break. So he's only a 6-year-old, but he's been left on the same mark. And the new handicapper would have dropped him. No, look. I'll need to see him run again before. Look, he's plenty of time on his side, and he might just take a run or two and a bit of freshening up, maybe. But I'll definitely be interested in Jouster again going forward. But I'm really, really keen on Ballycashin here. An 8-year-old, it's his handicap chase debut. He was a good winner of a hurdle off this same mark, 102, at Clonmel last May. He's back here for his handicap chase debut. I reckon he's a good thing here. There's the one that's probably a danger is the mare Cricora Hills, 6-year-old. She won a hurdle off 97 at Nace last April. She inherited off £5 higher off her fences. Like that gets well within her reach. But I just think Ballycashin, having won here before, I'm back here for the handicap chase debut. Like there's a good chance now. The double is who's the first one? Like Royal Reprobate, yeah. The dangers to the two of them are owned by JP, so I might have to do the green and gold double as well, just as a little saver.
Is this Cricora Hills or is this K-Boy?
Cricora Hills.
Cricora Hills, okay.
Yeah. I do really like her. I was watching her getting handicapped, and look, she definitely has a winner, but I just think it's going to be Ballycashin's day back here off the same mark he won over hurdles off at the same race course.
Yeah.
Ticking all the boxes.
Well, usually when you're bullish about one, I'll follow you in, but I'm really confident about one in this race as well, so I actually can't. This is why I say if we're both confident about one, it's probably going to be a race that you can just pick up and follow as we kind of go into the spring months. The one I really like is Starman, the number 5 on the card for Anthony McCann. James O'Sullivan's going to ride. Has his hood on. And look, he was held up out the back of the telly essentially behind Midnight It Is. And that race I picked out many times already that was ran in December time at Navan. He was beaten about 13, 14 lengths by Midnight It Is that day. 7 of 10. So you're probably looking at that race going, like, whatever. But it was an eye-catching enough run. They've been mixing between fences and hurdles with him. 2 starts after that run behind Midnight It Is. He ran behind Sprint de la Mar in a novice chase, was beaten 11 lengths that day. But again, eye-catching, never put in the race, stayed on from a long way back to finish 5th behind Theatre Native, who was probably better than that grade. St. Fad's and Luminous Light finished ahead of her. He did finish just ahead of Crocora Hills and Cade Boy that day. Now, Cade Boy kind of went for it off the front end and was fading, whereas Starman and Crocora Hills were coming from the back. Starman finished ahead of Crocora Hills that day, giving her £7. There was 6.5 lengths between them at the line. Now, you're getting very technical here. 6.5 lengths, so you could say Starman off 110 having to give £8 to Crocora Hills. Like, they're going to be relatively pretty closely matched. You could probably say Crocora Hills is going to be slightly better treated at the weights, given that she's 6 and Starman is 9. But Starman's only had 5 chase starts. I think they've masqueraded this horse's bid of a chase win by mixing it between chases and hurdles. People are going to see this horse getting beaten in a straight in a claiming hurdle at Limerick last time out and probably discount him.
How many of the chases were handicaps? Just one?
I don't think he's actually ran in a handicap chase. I'll just double check that now.
Behind Midnight it is.
So sorry, yes, of course it is. Yeah, sorry, yeah, he's only ran into one handicap chase, beaten 13 lengths, but Midnight it is. It was a novice chase last time out, 80 to 1 shot behind Spring de Lamar, not putting the race in the slightest, similar to Crocora Hills. But I just think this is a plan, and this is a 6 chase start. They've been, as I said, mixing it between fences and hurdles, hopefully to keep it under the radar, which I'm hoping that they've done. They're probably crossing everything. They just didn't get claimed last time out at Limerick. But I would be relatively confident this horse can win a chase off 110. I think he's relatively well handicapped and eye-catching runs over fences the last twice. So that'll do me. And I'd say it's going to be a big price. I think the Tap community can maybe remove the red hoods and back this one. I'm not sure how much of a punting yard he's coming from here. So, it's Starman with a little bit of confidence from me, and it's Ballycasham with a little bit of confidence from you, Dec, correct?
A lot of confidence.
A lot of confidence, all right. Just back them both, guys. Back them both. They'll be decent prizes. Right, on to the beginner's chase, the 4:35 to round off the card. It's nice not rounding off with a bumper saying, "Oh Jesus, who do you fancy?" Oh, I didn't look at this one. Do you look at this one? So it's always nice. All right, again, a nice big field of 14 going to post. This actually isn't a bad beginner's chase for the grade, I didn't think.
Yeah, this is tricky now.
This is tricky. Like, you could probably give 5 or 6 of them a relatively decent chance. Union Station is probably the most unexposed of the lot as a hurdles marker 120. Ran pretty well. Ran on eye-catchingly enough. He's beaten a long way by Queen of Bourbon last time out at Gowran, but there's no Queen of Bourbon in here. So it's a possible opportunity for him to maybe go and win. Rockbrook comes here obviously off the back of 2 hurdles wins, one at Galway and one here at Tramore. Very, very progressive, has every chance of continuing that progression over fences, but may take the run now, getting switched in discipline. Dec, quite a few here, as I said, that you could take a fancy to in the 4:35, the concluding race, but who do you like?
I assumed when I first looked at this, it'd be straightforward for me and it'd just be Union Station, like beating 10 lengths in his handicap debut in November. That was over hurdles. His chase debut was behind Queen of Bourbon. He's only a 6-year-old, but I actually really like Castlefield Boy here, Andy. I know he's 9, but he won a hurdle here at Clonmel off 116, and I don't know how many it is have ran to 116 or higher over hurdles. He is by Scorpion, I suppose, but he has won at Clonmel, and as we mentioned earlier, it takes a bit of winning at Clonmel. If you know your way around, I'd be happy to side with you again. So I'm going against a lot of what I say every week, and I'm going for the 9-year-old Castlefield Boy. Yeah, I suppose the question is, would they fancy their chances here, or if, as he had 3 runs in the handicapper, is making them go again? It's one or the other, but I'd probably agree with you. I'd say they're probably going to go and have a go here. I think they have to, because he's, I'd say he's the highest. He might not be the highest rated over hurdles, but I'd say he's won a handicap off the highest mark.
Highest rating. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, Union Station obviously was marked 120. I'd imagine that's the buffer here, is it? It would probably be. I'd imagine it's probably for horses rated 120 or less over
120
hurdles.
or less, yeah.
Yeah, so he's right on the buffer there, isn't he? And
but Union Station was, he was beating 10 lengths in a handicap over hurdles.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Whereas Castlefield Boy has won one off 116.
Hampered that day at Punchestown behind Sunny May, but probably wouldn't have won. So, and it was over 2 miles. So this is a little further, isn't it? It's 2 mile 3, isn't it? Yeah, 2 mile 4. So I think the step up and trip did your boy, Keondana, no harm, and obviously Union Station by leading light as well. So I'd be with him. To be honest with you, I think Union Station has a nice chance, and I'm hoping he kind of boosts the Queen of Bourbon form, because I do have a ticket for the Brown Advisory on life support. I think he's going to need a deluge of rain, Queen of Bourbon, but I don't necessarily. I'd be lying to say if I fancied him now, to be honest with you, especially what Ballyburn has done. But look, we'll have the ticket and we'll go there with a sporting chance, won't we? So that brings us to the end deck of Tap 92. It's surprisingly long, nearly hour of Clonmel. Bashing the handicapper and a bit of ranting. But look, it wouldn't be a Thursday Clonmel without it. So strongest bet in the card deck. I don't think we have a nap at the tap. I don't think there was much agreement. We're surely not putting Ballybow in a 3 furlong sprint as the nap at the tap. So who do you like?
Royal Reprobate was my strongest one, definitely.
Royal Reprobate,
the strongest one, and I do really like Ballycashin, and I'll do the double.
Right. Well, I know you've Ballycashin in the 405, but Starman is my strongest bet in the 405 as well. So we'll be taking each other on there.
And it'll probably be the 2 McManus horses though in the 2 races I mentioned.
Probably, yeah, probably. And I will be obviously back in high.
Give me a buzz at the Carter Hills.
I will be back in high in the half 3, the Division 2, that qualified riders race, and I'll be looking forward to tearing up my ticket after half a mile when the horse won't settle. But so it brings us to an end of Tap 92. We were going to talk a little bit about Cheltenham. I suppose we did a little bit. We talked a little bit about the Albert Barta. I will just throw in a little thing at the end, just because it was so nice at the Dublin Racing Festival to have people come up and say hello to us. We did very much appreciate it. And obviously, Jock putting the bet on of Solness, very much do appreciate that. It was really, really kind. Didn't see so much kindness coming. But speaking of the champion chase, Solness, he's going to try and go pillar to post. I really hope he does. But everyone was crabbing that found a 50 form at Navan in the Fortria chase, and that certain found a 50 gave Solness £7 and beat him at Navan that day. And
he put him through the rail.
He nearly put him through the rail, but he still gave him that £7 So if he didn't pull up at Leopardstown, you can always figure if the horse one bad run. I think he'd be significantly shorter for the champion chase. So
I do think though Andy Solness is improving for
he's a rapid improver, don't get me wrong. Yeah, he's a rapid improver.
He's improving with every run. Like I know he's like you look at him amount of times you just want to say, Jesus, he's so exposed, like, but he's improving with every run, and he's getting faster and he's jumping better. And I know that was a massive performance at the Dublin Racing Festival. Like, he's put them all to the sword and they just couldn't go with him. There was no 2 ways about it. None of them could lay up with him. They were flat to the boards. And he stayed the 2 mile 1 after going that pace.
Yeah, that was very impressive.
Like, I think that's pretty scary what he done at the Dublin Racing Festival. The fact he got home over the 2 mile 1, he can go as fast as he wants at Cheltenham because he's gonna stay, because it's only 1 mile 7. He'd be still galloping up the hill. Yeah,
no, totally agree with you. And would the 138 rated Sinesia be of interest now in handicaps in the springtime? Doesn't always show it, but off that run in the Fortria at Navan, like, he looks chucked in now. if he ever runs to that again. But I do think Found a 50 could be the forgotten horse there in the champion chase. Like, if you take it at face value, obviously Solness has improved, but he gave him £7, so it's a massive looking run. Be very interesting. The champion chase is now the race I'm probably looking forward to the most. 2 mile chasing has became my favorite thing in the sport. Like, even just the binoculars at Leopardstown, watching Solness wing fences on his own down the back, like, it's just deadly. Real pleasure to watch the best horses do it. And And that brings us to an end, I suppose, of Top 92. So just keep liking, sharing, subscribing. Hopefully we've given you a few winners here. We'll be back at Top 93. We'll probably be back this week, to be honest with you. Probably do one the weekend deck if you're free. Do one for the weekend even, so if you're free. Any concluding comments before we leave it off?
No, just want to touch on what you said. Like, it was great to meet everyone last week at Leopardstown and thoroughly enjoyed it. And the people I got to meet through the 2 nights out after racing as well, back in town. It's a bit mad, like, and people are coming up and saying hello to you and you're out in town. It was great crack. Really, really enjoyed it and can't wait to do it all over again. It's 4 weeks to Cheltenham now, and hope to see many more faces and have a drink with people. So yeah, look, that's it was given out a little bit earlier, but that's the really good side of the racing community as well. Is there is a lot of good people out there as well, and did have great crack. Chatting and having a drink, which is last week.
Yeah, it's exciting times going back to the Arkle Bar. I'm going to bring the hood to make sure by the Gold Cup they have to spin you around and get you into the Arkle Bar in the morning time, early on Friday morning. You might need a bit of persuasion. And obviously, the very, very, very last thing is I'm kind of rolling this on. You getting mentioned on RT Racing was quite good as well at the time. Which was a good interview, so it was quite funny.
It might have got Luke in trouble, but it didn't get me in trouble.
That's it. Good old Lukey. All right. Well, look. Until next time, guys, that was Top 92. All the best and bye-bye.
Cheers.